Tonight, Bruce Wayne gets arrested, Batman gets yeeted, and Alfred has a stroke. Welcome back to another video, guys. So tonight I got the platinum for Telltale's Batman: The Enemy Within. Just like the first Batman game, there is only 31 trophies required, and they are all story related and unmissable. If you enjoy the video, leave a like, comment what game you want to see next, and subscribe. So once again, we are back in Gotham City, and it's just a regular night, with Bruce Wayne undercover in a casino, doing his best James Bond impression. We are spying on an arms dealer Maury before he is interrupted by the Riddler, who wastes no time kicking this game off. Riddler and his gang then start taking hostages, but we quickly take out this guard before we summon the Batmobile like it's a Uber. So yeah, the Riddler is telling riddles and putting people in saw traps, so he's pretty unhinged, but this guy's an arms dealer, so who cares? We then use our drones for recon, because if it isn't broke, don't fix it, and quickly distract this guard before taking him out. Riddler then takes Morris' finger, so before he ends up losing his entire hand, we rush Riddler's henchmen and take out several before we fight the second in command, but once again the X plus R2 comes in clutch. Finally, Gordon and the GCPD rush the building and we begin throwing hands with the Riddler, and after beating his ass, he tries to finish Maury off, but we cut the wires and save him. Should have let him die in jail. We then have a back and forth argument with the Riddler before I get bored of his witty dialogue and decide to beat his ass again and him with the signature X plus R2. After this, he then drops a Rubik's Cube for us to solve and blows the building. But we are Batman, so OFC we save everyone, except Morris' 2 fingers. Then Amanda Waller shows up and starts annoying me already, but we get our first trophy. So yeah, we find Riddler's Rubik's Cube in the rubble and have a discussion with Gordon about how he used to leave clues everywhere like, honestly, just take a night off, son. Amanda Waller then yaps in my ear for a bit. I tell her I only work with Gordy, and then we meet Avesta and some other NPC, and they give us a file on Riddler. Back in Wayne Manor, me and Al try figure out the Rubik's Cube, and we also start researching the agency to see if they do any shady government things. We then sort of solve the Rubik's Cube, and then hit up old Lucius Fox, and he says he can work out the rest of it, so we head over to Wayne Tower. Before that though, we get another trophy. Obviously, we bump into Regina Jones, aka the woman who got us sacked last game, but we immediately tell her to do one because I'm salty and hold a grudge. Lucius then gets to see the Rubik's Cube and Riddler's file, because carrying around classified documents to work can't backfire at all. His daughter then shows up, and yeah, she gives Amanda Waller a run for her money as most unlikable character. But eventually Lucius leaves to head for the lab, and the agents show up. Good thing we didn't bring those documents and leave them out in the open, which would expose our identity, haha. We then get accused of attracting the wrong crowd, and OFCI doing Bruce Wayne. We then tell them to GTFO. Lucius then hits us up on FT and tells us he solved the Rubik's Cube. Unlucky for him, though, his prize for doing so is a missile, but don't be sad because we got a trophy. Oh wait, he's dead. Time to be sad again. So yeah, our tech guy is dead and we have to comfort his annoying daughter. John Doe then appears with a get well soon card, which is funny in a very morbid way. Me and John then talk for a bit and he wants me to meet his friends, since he helped out of Arkham last game, so I say I would meet them because I'm a good friend. Another trophy unlocked. Me and Gordon then continue our bromance on the GCPD roof and decide to track down Riddler together. This then leads us to the East End of Gotham, where we enter Riddler's hideout and are trapped straight away. Good plan, guys. We either find a dead agency member who was tortured by Riddler for info, so we have to play Riddler's game to escape, so I enter the box of death to get the first clue. This triggers a trap, which blasts Taylor Swift music, and like any normal creature, this deafens us, and this is obviously which killed the agency member. So we stumble our way over and figure out the riddle. The reward we get is a missile, because who doesn't have a few of them lying around the house? Then Riddler carries on being a twat and snitches about Lucius dying. Gordy then asks about Fox, and we say he was a friend because come on, who could lie him at this point? And he decides not to tell anyone because we're mates. And another trophy. Old Alfred is then hit with a case of PTSD. We then find out that Riddler's plans to fire missiles at all the agency members in Gotham using their phone numbers. So we then leave to interrogate Maury to find out where Riddler is. So we don't cut a deal with him and steal the info while strangling him. This leads us to a ship outside of Gotham which has Riddler and the missiles. We haven't leveled up our stealth enough though, so we rush his henchmen and hit a 4-piece. Riddler then gets taken out by our stun, and we save Agent Avesta. Oh, never mind, it's a trap. Riddler has second chance on, so he instantly gets back up and off. He starts asking us riddles. If we get it wrong, he kills the other agents. If we get it right, he brings out the Taylor Swift music, so it's a no-win situation. But we use our brain and lock the missiles onto our drone, blowing open the cage. Oh yay, Avesta is now deaf because of the Taylor Swift music. Talk about taking one for the team. Riddler then gets assassinated. Waller then shows up and blackmails us because she just knows we are Bruce Wayne. There is then multiple robberies in Gotham, so we head back to help the GCPD and we get a trophy. Back at the GCPD arsenal, we begin taking out the robbers one by one. Before the walking steroid shows up Bane. So obviously we begin fighting and taking out his men at the same time. We then start cooking Bane in the 1v1. He then cheats and injects himself with straight Red Bull, which gives him wings and the ability to batter me senseless. So yay, he tosses us around like an empty tracksuit before throwing us away like an old toy. We then phone Gordy for some help, and he eventually saves us. He just owes us now for the other 8 million times I've saved him. But we get a trophy. Alfred then lectures me about nearly dying Cheers mate before we get patched up and try figure out who is a part of this pact. So it's Harley, Bane, John Doe, and Mr. Freeze. Oh, and Riddler, but Yano is toast. We then text John asking to meet his serial killer friends. So we meet up with him and pinky swear to never keep secrets from each other before we meet Harley. Oh yeah, she points a gun at us straight away, so that's fun. She then wants us to steal a key from Wayne Tower, which opens every security door in Gotham. This leads to another trophy. So we enter Wayne Tower and OFC they couldn't wait in the car. So they tag along, and instantly we bump into Regina, and Harley starts threatening her. And I don't care, because this twat got me fired. We then head to the lab and enter the vault to find the key. OFK Tiffany is here, and she's being a pest, but she hands over the key without a fight. Harley then decides to take the EMP. We then have a quick chat with Alfred, before we have to head back out again as Batman, but we get a trophy for it. At the GCPD again, and we are having another conversation with Gordon as usual until Amanda Waller shows up and ruins our bromance. But we basically agree that I am to go undercover and infiltrate the Pact. I then get choked out and wake up in the Pact's hiding spot, aka some random sewer. Bane then picks me up and I'm getting PTSD again before John sets off the EMP for a laugh. Freeze then goes a tad overboard and threatens to kill me, so I deactivate the EMP. Cheers, John. I then have to win over Bane, which goes about as well as you'd expect. So I beat up one of his men to prove him not a rat. They then finally vote and agree I'm a part of the Pact, and this gets us another trophy. So we all head out to ambush our agency convoy, and this is why we need the EMP to deactivate their guns. So we stroll our way towards the cargo, and after Freeze freezes the door, that was a tongue twister, we break the van open and steal the cargo. Harley and Bane then go on a warpath, so we decide to cut off Harley because she's completely mental, and this stops her from killing several people. But yay, we clearly haven't heard of No Man Left Behind and leave Bane on his own. So back in the hideout, we open the box containing the cargo with the key we stole from Wayne Tower, and we find Riddler's corpse. What a fun prize. Oh yeah, and Catwoman shows up to reject us for the millionth time, but we keep trying, boys. Plus another trophy. So yeah, Catwoman has stolen a device which allows us to scan Riddler's eyes because we need that to access his laptop. We then leave with John and Catwoman to find the black site location for Harley. We then watch as John wakes up everyone in a mile radius before we enter, and then knock out this detective and get a trophy for it. Once inside Riddler's old hideout, we, you guessed it, solve another riddle, which leads to us going down an elevator with Catwoman. We then type in password as his password, but that doesn't work, so it locks us out completely. Catwoman then handcuffs me, and I like where this is going. Oh, she's trying to avenge Riddler all by herself. So we have another fight with her, honestly. Have fought her more than all the other villains combined, and after a lot of flirting and a bit more fighting, she gets away. Cut to me and John having a drink before the bat signal shows, and I have to leave, and we get another trophy. So, basically we meet Gordon, and he tells us he wants us to arrest Bruce Wayne. Bit harsh, but okay. And then he says he's going to arrest Catwoman. Okay, Gordy, you're really testing the limits. Oh, the bromance right now. Obviously we warn her because we want to smash, but then John shows up, asks for a picture, but Batman doesn't do selfies. And we get another trophy. Back at the Pact's hideout, we see Freeze and Bane are interrogating members to see who is the rat, before Selina then sends us a photo showing that she has stolen Riddler's laptop. So we chase her down, and big coincidence, it's on the mayor's office where we first met. Then we have another fight because OFC we do. It's just like my mum and dad. But we get the laptop and then invite her back to our place and she says yes. Back in the Batcave, we drop some quick riz before finally accessing the laptop with Riddler's eye goggles. And we find out the black site is an agency testing facility which has live human test subjects. There's that dodgy government stuff I was talking about. plus another trophy. Back in Wayne Tower, Tiffany then becomes the biggest pain in the ass by getting us arrested. But Waller shows up and smacks Gordy on the wrist and removes him as commissioner. Looks like our bromance is dead. We then tell Tiffany we are Batman to make her shut up, and we get another trophy. Cut to us outside the black site location, and after some short recon, Bane just happens to be following us. So he thinks we are the Rat and knocks us out, cheers. Harley then picks John to interrogate us, and he fakes it because we are best buddies. Unlike Gordon, John would never betray us. So we confess to save Catwoman, because I'm doing anything to get laid at this point. We then get flung inside the icebox and turned into a popsicle and get a trophy. Right, we don't actually get turned into a popsicle. We hack the EMP setting it off, and that fries the locks and lets us escape. We then head to the black site location as Batman and try catch the Pact before they steal the virus, but they beat us to it and have massacred the workers. Once we head down, we work our way through the site before we bump into Catwoman, and for once, she actually doesn't want to fight me, but we decide to team up and take down the Pact. Again, we get another trophy. We then confront Harley and the gang, and a fight breaks out with us fighting Bane and Freeze, while Catwoman fights Harley and John. Well, he cheers us on. But unlike most enemies in this game, 1 or 2 attacks doesn't stop them, so we find ourselves getting double teamed, and not in the fun way for most of the fight, until we isolate Bane and turn into Kratos. Eventually thought we take out Bane and most of the virus samples, before Freeze tries to escape with the remaining samples, but Harley tackles him and steals them for herself. We then speak with Freeze, and in return for information, we turn down the temperature dial where he's being held, and this allows his body to beat the virus. This gets us a trophy, and then me and Avesta head back to the hideout to see if Harley is hiding here, but all we get is another trophy, and a very drunk John Doe plus another trophy. Cut to us in the Batcave, and we find Alfred has decided to have a stroke. I mean, bad timing, Al. I've sort of got enough on my plate, ATM. So we bring him upstairs and leave him with Tiffany and TBHID, rather have another stroke than speak with her. John then says he has found Harley, so we head to the carnival. But once inside, all we find is that John has killed multiple agency members. He tries to say it was self-defense and we call him a dirty liar, so he says he knows we are Batman. Honestly, it's the worst kept secret at this point, but we get another trophy. We arrive at Gotham Bridge to stop Harley, but once we confront her, she attacks us, then threatens to blow the bridge up and release the virus. But John Doe saves her by crashing a truck and tossing bombs everywhere, and ends up activating even more explosives. So we save a few people, then John and Harley escape, and we get another trophy. So after John escapes him, and Harley go on a rampage and start terrorizing Gotham, and this leads Detective Bullock to investigate a truck where he finds a clown, and then we find him tied up. Gordy then comes back to discuss getting the bromance back together, but we then fast forward to Wayne Towers because someone has been buying guns in Regina Jones' name. We then confront her and call her a dirty scum before someone starts laughing hysterically, so I punch him because the joke wasn't that funny. And then bang, Harley shows up. After taking down a few guards, we are captured, and then finally the Joker appears, rip John Doe. So yay, they plant a bomb in the room, and all over Gotham, kill everyone else in the building, expect me, and then leave. But Tiffany shows up to help me, and she does something other than nag me, so that's a plus, and so is getting another trophy. We then scan some of Joker clothing to find out where he has been, and realise he was visiting the church where we first met. We then use the I'm Batman line on Tiffany before leaving. After scanning the bomb using a drone, we then manage to defuse it before it blows. After that, we get a call from Gordy, and he planned on betraying us but can't go through with it, so he ends up getting attacked and we get a trophy. We then rush to Ace Chemicals to save our best buddy, and we find Gordy half dead before we are ambushed by the cast of Payday 2, but Dallas and the rest of the gang don't stand a chance as we begin breaking bones and shattering kneecaps. We then get suplexed into next week by Kurt Angle, and eventually Gordy pops a self-revive and starts swinging himself. We then start working together like the dynamic duo before we get overpowered. But then, Joker shows up and reveals Gordon betrayed me for the map, which shows where all the bombs are planted. The bromance is dead again. Gordon then used to be an adventurer like me, but then he got 2 bullets to his knees. Joker then tases us, and we get another trophy. We then wake up back at the carnival park as Bruce, where we find Catwoman. We then give her the key because Joker thinks she will betray us, but she's a simp from Bruce at this point, and we move on to the next room. We then have to place these cards on different graves to as who murdered who. But after we place them all, we find Tiffany alive, It's then here where it is revealed that she's the one who shot Riddler at the start of the game. Catwoman then chokes her. Wish that was me, but she chills out once we say she's Lucius' daughter. We then find Joker and Harley and also Alfred. And we play a game of put a finger down if you've annoyed John Doe. So we obviously don't put our finger down just to annoy Joker even more. But this backfires as Joker and Harley take turns hitting us with different objects, which is fun. After the game, Harley then tries let a bomb off, but we tell her that Joker gave Gordon a map and she attacks him. We then break free and begin a 2v1. Joker looks completely insane here. Plus he also has infinite knives in his pockets, which is a wee bit overpowered. We then decide to play some of the amusements with him, like bouncing his head off the ring the bell amusement, which of course we get the best prize. Harley is slightly jealous of all the fun we are having, so she ruins the fun for everyone. But we disarm Harley of a device keeping Catwoman out of the fight, and we then begin the 2v2. Finally, after a brutal fight, Joker flees, and we follow while Catwoman does her best Khabib impression on Harley. This is it, the last fight. We confront Joker and begin throwing hands instantly. But this fight is like two brothers fighting, and Joker is clearly the younger one. He is pulling out all the dirty tricks and starts biting me the nut job. But once we get him down, we start spamming the R2 button like a madman until we remember that Batman doesn't kill. Oh no, looks like we broke our code and killed him. Psych, he's alive, and he decides to thank us for saving him by planting a knife in our side. Thanks, John, forgot how thoughtful your presents are. We then awaken half dead and tell Waller to reinstate Gordon, let Avesta work for us and wipe Catwoman's record, so in the end, we all came out on top. We quickly confront Tiffany and take her as our new apprentice. After that we arrive back in Wayne Manor, and Alfred says he's leaving. We can either leave with him or stay. Obviously I stay because I'm Batman. The game then ends, and we get our last two main trophies, which is then followed by the Platinum. Thanks again for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know in the comments what game you want to see next, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.